Be it social media, friends, or family get together, or a political debate. Nowadays, feminism has been getting trolled and ridiculed by people. But do you know why? We will have a look at this why. So, firstly, feminism as an ideology is something which we need to understand first, and only then we will be able to understand that why trolling feminism is not a wise idea. Okay, so before I tell you what is feminism, I would like to ask you, what do you think when this word comes into your mind? Like, what do you associate with when you think about feminism? Is it women empowerment, or is it the examples of those women who are misusing this particular ideology and they are defaming the feminism? I don't know whether all of you understand the concept of feminism or not, but I will tell you what feminism as an ideology is. So, feminism is the belief in social, economic, and political equality of the sexes. Although largely originating in the West, it is manifested worldwide and is represented by various institutions committed to activity on the behalf of women's rights and interests. Now, women were confined to the domestic sphere while public life was reserved for men throughout the most of the Western history. And in medieval Europe, women were denied the right to own property, to study, or to participate in public life. But at the end of 19th century in France, they were still compelled to cover their heads in public, and in parts of Germany, a husband still had the right to sell his wife. Even as late as the early 20th century, women could neither vote nor hold elective office in Europe. Now, women were prevented from conducting business without a male representative, be it father, brother, husband, legal agent, or even son. Married women could not exercise control over their own children without the permission of their husbands. Moreover, women had little or no access to education and were barred from most professions. In some parts of the world, such restrictions on women continue today. And history of feminism is something which dates back to the ancient times. And now, before I introduce another term which is associated with feminism, I would like to tell you one quote. It is, "You educate a man, you educate a man, and you educate a woman, you educate a generation." So this is one of the famous quotation, and it holds much relevance in today's times because feminism as an ideology needs to be seen with positivity, and the negativity which is associated with it should be negated. Now, feminism in simple terms means that no sex should be treated with any injustice, right? They should receive equal treatment. But lately there is developing a new type of feminism, to be very precise, and it is called as pseudo-feminism. Now, pseudo-feminists have a deep desire to remedy all the injustices inflicted on women, often by lashing out and demeaning at men. What they forget is the fundamental essence of the movement towards feminism, that is the equality. And another form of pseudo-feminism is comfort feminism. We often don't realize it, but pseudo-feminism is all around us, clandestinely hiding behind feminism. And the women are crying everywhere for fair rights, but don't waste a minute telling a guy sitting on a lady's reserved seat to vacate it. Another strong example of pseudo-feminism is that women's income tax slab is higher than men's, and a woman who earns still 3 lakh to 3,50,000 is exempt from tax payment. Now, if both men and women earn the same amount, why should it only be the men who pay the tax? It leaves a considerable dilemma. Men in India are mostly the earners of prime income, and if they pay a nominal wage tax, they are left with very little to support their families. However, there are exceptions to the situation. If the true value of feminism is to be complied with, then equality must be taken into account. If a man pays tax for the same wage a woman also earns, then a woman should also do that. Although women are in minority, some men are also subjected to sexual crimes that are crystal clear truth. Now, statistics of cases reported to the police are on the lower side, as most people do not report such a crime for fear of being mocked, not believed, and facing the charges themselves instead. Now, this word pseudo-feminism, this is something which is to be understood even more deeply. Pseudo-feminism suggests that women deserve more respect or people of other sexes do not deserve respect. This is where the problem is. Now, living in a culture where women face many challenges every day is the worst thing is that some people heard the term feminism. On social media, hardly anyone knows about feminism and they end up being pseudo-feminist. Do pseudo-feminists really want equal treatment? No. They want to create a world governed only by women. And this is the major issue. Will a woman be getting away with any wrongdoing? Women on social media who identify themselves as feminists want equality and recognition for women. They think to deserve it. And hypocrisy and pseudo-feminism get a melting pot here. Feminism is simply about freedom and is not about judgment. People who recognize feminism don't wear the feminist badge. These are the people who want a good education for their daughter, support their companion if she wants to be working in the field. Some women want to give their husband food. Some women want to take more care of their house and children than work. So there is a lot of difference between feminism and pseudo-feminism. And what we need to understand here is that women who want to take more care of their house and children than work, they are not slaves. It is not making them slaves. It is up to them to decide what they want to do, whether they want to work or whether they want to do household work. Now, if I talk about a feminist, so feminist might be a man, woman, or anyone who believes sex should not be a factor in deciding what women's rights are, right? So it is a concept that strives for gender equality. It seeks to make it so that women are given the same education, the same platform, and the same opportunities that a man has in his life. Also, it aims at eliminating the stereotyping of women, which has been prevalent for ages. Women should not be forced to leave school early and marry or do housework or fit in more traditional roles. And I think a lot of us are feminists even without realizing that. But pseudo-feminism is a term sometimes assigned to a branch of feminism with which some don't agree. Very frequently, the definition of feminism is incorrect and cruel. And as they claim, a few bag eggs ruin the pot, and people will sometimes use pseudo-feminist reasons to point out non-existent inconsistencies in the very idea of the ideology of feminism. Supporting any particular idea and propagating it is one thing, but spreading hatred and discord meaninglessly in its name would only destroy all the good that was done before in the name of that idea. And this is what is happening with the ideology of feminism. So what we need to do is to understand, we need to differentiate between the terms feminism and pseudo-feminism. And we need to understand that feminism does not promote women's supremacy and men's hatred. It just is related to the equality. It is only about equality and not about the revenge for the atrocities and the predominance and abuse that women face at the hands of society. No doubt there has been a lot of sufferings caused to women due to the patriarchy. But the most troubling fact is about how these pseudo-feminists scout defects in all men do, finding ways to make them look bad, depicting them as suspects if nothing works for them or according to their choices. Then playing the victim card, it is the worst thing. And the outcome of this is that people are just not knowing the things, people are not understanding this particular ideology, and they are associating feminism as a bad or as an evil ideology. So half-baked knowledge is worse than ignorance. I would say just this, and it is best to explain all the evidence before marking people with terms like a pervert, so that all the hard work that has been done for the decades to empower women in the name of equality will not be destroyed by this particular term, which is pseudo-feminism. So I'd like you to share this video with your friends so that more and more people are aware about what is the main difference between feminism and pseudo-feminism. Because in contemporary times there has been a lot of hatred on social media and everywhere wherever feminism is being discussed, because many of the people who are discussing it are not actually aware, are not actually understanding the particular ideology. So this is it about this video, and thank you so much for watching.